Hi guys, Michelle Drewberry is one of those GB News hosts who isn't clever enough to know when to shut up. So on her show, she had Lord Moylan to represent the right wing and Jonathan List to represent the left. They spoke at length about asylum seekers and immigrants on benefits. Now it's important to remember that asylum seekers can't work and immigrants in general can't claim benefits. However, the conversation moved away from foreigners to British people claiming some sort of support from the state. And Michelle here believes that there should be a stigma attached to unemployment. Have a listen to this.
There are lots of reasons why people may not be working. For the reasons I've already given, also a lot of people have caring responsibilities. A lot of people, yes, may be in long-term sickness. It happens.
Do you think that anyone, irrespective of their background, whether they're, whatever background is irrelevant, if you're working age and you're able-bodied, able-minded, and you're physically able to go to work, do you think you should ever be able to live on welfare as a choice?
Well, I just disagree with the premise of the question. I really don't think there are a lot of people in this country who are living...
It's a great question.
Well, it may be a great question. I'm disagreeing with the premise of it, which is that not a lot of people are treating benefits as a lifestyle choice.
Wait a minute. We know that after COVID, there was a very significant jump up in the number of people of working age who were claiming benefits. And that number has stayed at an elevated level since COVID.
Yes.
So that's what you need to address.
It's
almost certain that many of those people could work.
I'm conscious of time. I've got to go to break in a second because I need to talk about two-tier NHS. Don't worry about that. But just as a principle, do you think anyone that's able to work, physically, mentally, able to work, so you're not caring for whatever, do you think you should ever be able to live on welfare?
Michelle, over half of people who work are on benefits. Well, no, it's of the half. Yes, I think half the people who are on benefits are actually working.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people. You know what I'm asking you. Do you think you should ever be able to choose not to work, not to be self-sufficient, and instead choose to rely on the state if you're able to provide for yourself?
I just don't think there are people who are doing that.
Well, I think you need to get out more.
There are tons of tiny.
I think you need to get out more.
Obviously, there are very small numbers of people who abuse the system. This is how the system
always operates.
Michelle, let me put it to you this way: if there are people who are abusing the system, they should obviously not be abusing the system. I just disagree with the scale that is kind of so present.
I didn't give you a scale. I just asked you a simple question.
Obviously, I don't think that people should be cheating. I don't think that people should be cheating the benefit system. Absolutely.
The principle was always that if you lost your job, you got unemployment benefit for a limited period.
There used to be. I mean, call me old-fashioned. There used to be a bit of shame.
And then you were on your own
with having to go down and rely on the job centre or whatever.
Why should there be shame attached to this? Well, what is the justification for shame? The mask falls here at GB News. People should be shamed into doing jobs that they don't want to do. Now, there are certain reasons why people are not doing jobs, even though they are able-bodied. Maybe because the job doesn't pay enough. The stress level isn't worth it. It's far away. It's not feasible. There are a number of reasons why people decide, look, it's actually better just to live on benefits. It's not a wonderful life, but it's actually economically better for me to be on benefits than doing some sort of job where I'm stressed out, I have to travel half the day, I can't get childcare and stuff like this. So there are a number of reasons why people will not choose to pick up a job. But what Michelle wants is for people to be shamed into taking up employment. So we're talking about people, and I've mentioned this before, Michelle would be happy with somebody being forced to look after her grandparents or elderly relatives in a care home who was forced to do that. Somebody who was on benefits yesterday and is now working in the care home today. She would be happy with somebody like that looking after her elderly relatives or parents or grandparents. I don't think so. I honestly don't think she'd be happy with that. But she seems to be convinced that people need to be shamed into doing jobs. Why? If employment doesn't pay enough and benefits cover the cost of living, barely cover the cost of living, the answer cannot be let's cut benefits. The answer has to be let's increase wages. Let's make it more of an incentive to work than to be on benefits, if that's your goal. Look, we're always going to have a certain number of people who don't want to work. But forcing them into jobs is not the way to fix the problem. The problem is to improve the quality of life of workers, to increase their wages, to improve their working conditions, to improve public transport, to make it cheaper to travel across the country if they have to travel. These are the solutions, not to punish people on benefits and not to embarrass people if they go down to the job centre. She said, I'm old-fashioned. This is an old mentality. But there's no justification for it, just because it's old. There is no justification for attaching a stigma to unemployment or a stigma to benefits. Many people don't claim the benefits that they're entitled to out of this sense of shame. I'm doing something wrong. And once again, I've mentioned this before, we call them benefits when in reality they are entitlements. There are things that people are entitled to. It's not something extra, it's your entitlement. We never describe a pension as a benefit. It's more described as an entitlement. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.